This shit is for us. It's for us, by us, Black AF, queer AF, spiritual AF, cultural AF, all the AFs you can think of. It's really for us. The Juneteenth healing experience is for us. On June 19th, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas to announce that Africans who were enslaved were now free. It's important to note that this happened almost 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. So imagine being free from slavery for 2 years and not even knowing, because Texas was just so big, so huge, and all of that. And so on this day, we pause just to celebrate the emancipation of Africans from slavery. And it's called Juneteenth. So June and 19th together make Juneteenth. For Juneteenth 2020, we are calling it the National Day of Black Rest, a day for us to have a reprieve, to pause, and to celebrate the fact that we have endured so much for so many centuries, and that we still have so much to do, but we can pause for a minute to reflect, to have joy, to be real Black, to be real joyful, to have our whole selves just be honored, and just to do a little bit of healing in the midst of all of this turmoil. And so Juneteenth for me is a worship experience, a spiritual experience, a community experience where we all can come together as artists, as humans, as Black folks, just to pause and just say, we made it. Yeah, so the theme for this year's Juneteenth for me is dancing in the storm. We are in the middle of something we have never seen before. All over this world, people have taken the time to protest, to raise up about Black Lives Mattering. There has been a protest in every single state in this country, and every single state in this country, in 18 countries around the world, have stood up to protest not only the killing of Black folks at the hands of police, but also the systemic issues that we have in healthcare and maternal health and just jobs and everything you can imagine. We struggling for one reason or another. And so this shit is for us, because we have continued to dance through the storm, and we will continue to do so. It's happening on Juneteenth, June 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m. You can join me as your host and so many others. We're talking about Pastor Bay, Levon Proverbs, who is going to bring our sermon. She's going to preach to us. We're going to have praise and worship by the wonderful gospel artist Victoria Hubbard Barnes. We're going to have a special performance by Liberation Era, which is a band from Brooklyn, New York. And we're also going to have our Black National Anthem brought to you by none other than Mourning a Black Star. Folks can find this information on my website, eriseady.com. You can find it on Instagram, Juneteenth4me, Facebook, Juneteenth4me. So how people can be involved? You can support this cause by donating. You can donate right on Eris Eady's website. You can hit my Cash App, EZV. This is just a very organic production put together by Venia Media, LLC, which is a new initiative I put out just to be able to produce events for us, for folks who are systemically unheard, systemically ignored. I want to be able to make sure that our voices are heard, uplifted, revered, and honored, and just create dope spaces. And so if you want to be involved with that, with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Feel free just to reach out directly to me because I would love to collaborate with you. We're doing this because Black folks need to take a collective breath for community healing. This is a curated interfaith experience that centers music and chanting and meditation and ritual and preaching and dancing and so much more. And these are all things and tools that we have all used in our path towards healing. It's not just enough to protest. It's not just enough to vote. It's not just enough to write. It's not just enough to do legislative work and advocacy work. But when we take the moment to heal, to go inward and to use the tools that we've used from the time we were transplanted from one soil to this one, these are the things that have sustained us, and these are the things that will continue to sustain us. And so our healing is integral to this movement. We cannot demand that white supremacy be dismantled if we are not demanding that we dismantle this white supremacy within ourselves. And we do that through creating healing experiences like this one.